Anything specific, or you're just trying to maintain good relations with them?
Maintain good relations.
Okay. Do you have any diplomacy skills?
I have. I can intimidate things and handle their animals. That's what it says. Motive.
Okay, we'll say you're at a disadvantage, but give me 13 dice as you spend time with the Kozuthans and you do some minor tasks for them and you participate in normal religious. So I'm looking for fives or sixes.
Jesus Christ. 1.
Out of 13? Wow. Wow, okay.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Okay. They don't ask for anything specific. They don't offer anything specific. Good relations are maintained. They don't see you as a burden at all. They enjoy having your presence there. They do ask about the dragon a little bit and how it's doing. Sometimes things are just normal. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
That was at least one success. Remember Sid's rolls when there was a competition? Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah. That didn't go too well.
All right, and Bannock Baden is idle this week. All right, and it looks like 6 was. Ashoka, you spent more time on the doppelganger.
Yep.
You doing the morale thing again?
Yep.
Give me 12 dice.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Okay, the morale, his morale is actually pretty good. It's +1 now. Good time to start affecting his attitude on the next week. So the doppelganger is now freely talking and kind of in a good mood, and et cetera, et cetera.
You would have called me Papa before we are done.
Give me a 20%. Oh wait, market. It appears that the gladiators. We need to decide who won which gladiator in the market. So let us go to. There were the bids for the gladiators in the market, and I'm looking at party pages. No, where did I put these guys? The ludus tax? No. Insurance claim? No. Oh, maybe I just put them on my own notes. Okay. I didn't share the list of gladiators with you, did I?
I don't think so.
Storyteller area on the market. All right. Andrew the Persistent, who apparently got kicked out of his, who's representing a small village as a volunteer gladiator, got kicked out of his current ludus, or his master wants to sell his contract because he is very devout and talks about his god all the time. I don't think you guys put any bids on him. Either of the Ludi put bids on him.
Do you know what god it is?
The god's name is Foltus, the god of light, order, and steadfastness. So
sounds like a real party.
Andrew gets sold
To the Grim Goblin!
Nope. He gets sold to...
The monks, I assume.
Nope.
No. The night people? The knights?
The Broken Shield.
The Broken Shield.
Yeah.
He will make a good shining beacon for them. Lambda is the adult female bugbear rogue who is very, very smart and knew many, many languages. And she was being sold because she was a bit of a troublemaker. And nobody put any bids on her. So Lambda is being purchased by... Everyone needs gladiators.
Especially when Magnus kills everyone.
Okay.
A merciful blade, fuck you.
Lambda got purchased by the House of the Grim Goblin.
She's a bugbear, and she knows many languages.
All right. Broken shield. Cool. Quailsy is the adult female Nagaji warrior who is from a warrior caste of Nagaji. She was born on Volcanica and sold into slavery on Tarak. She, an arcane caster destroyed her unit. She was the only surviving member of her unit, and she was cast out of the military in disgrace for failing at her mission. I don't see any bids towards her unless I took them. I took this wrong.
We bid on her.
Who's we?
We did. Conclave bid on her.
Okay.
$4 grand.
All
We
right.
collect monkey people, and we'll take the arcane monkey and the woman who hates arcane, and see if they make more monkeys.
All right. Quailsy has been purchased by you, and I will put her. Do you have the amount put down?
$1.
We had 4 talents on her.
Okay. So I'm gonna
I
put.
remember that.
I'm gonna put the details about her on the sheet, and apparently they were going to use her as the blooded gladiator, as part of the tax. They were going to pay the Duke's tax. With this gladiator.
We're going to just send her off to war again.
Yep.
She'll be happy.
So this is
we put 4. Yeah, that saved us 6 talents. That's
this
awesome.
is the Conclave of Crimson Scale.
This was part of the 10 grand they had to spend on to get in 2 veterans.
No.
Yep. No, the other. So the.
Okay. What I need, you're updating the sheet with the accounts, right? Because I don't know how the numbers have been played with.
Yep. All the numbers are now taken care of on that particular sheet.
Perfect.
So Quailsy is a random gladiator. How are we putting numbers beside these? She was like gladiator, I don't know, 18?
No, we're at least at 20 now.
I'm seeing Drain is 16. Some of them don't have numbers.
Mortensi's like 18.
Okay. So this is
I
gladiator
think
20.
Widget's 19.
Widget's 19.
Okay.
No.
Quailsy will put at 20. So there's her sheet. She gets to placed. So they're her stats. You get to place them where you want. She's a third. She's a third level barbarian, neutral.
Yeah.
And there's some ideas. There are some ideas for her build.
Cool.
Okay, and then subtract the four talents off of the Conclave's sheet, and then we'll go back to the other gladiators. Voxy Prim. We'll get to her in a second.
Interesting.
Nezer. Nezer, who put in a bid for Nezer? Nezer was the adult male centaur.
Centaur? Yeah.
I thought we did.
No, we didn't.
But my memory's ass right now. I don't.
We didn't. I wanted to. You said no.
Wait, what? No, I don't believe that. You're taking advantage of my memory. My bad memory. Lack of it.
I wanted someone who was like, we'll give him a lance. You're like, yeah, but he's so expensive.
It is expensive.
And the Conclave of, or sorry, the Dread and Circus, the Circus of Dread didn't buy him.
No.
We have many monsters.
Okay, the Knights of Vaddapol won Nezer, the adult
I
male
knew it!
centaur. Voxy Prim, you actually see the queen of the House of the Goblin, of the Civilized Goblin, the Grim Goblin, sorry, standing beside the merchant.
Oh,
where
Damian
Voxy
walks
Prim
up.
is.
Damian walks up. He's got a big bag of gold.
Well, it was actually the Ludus that put in the bid. Not
Oh no,
Damian.
Damian's there, like as if he's doing the same thing as she is. Like, yeah.
Okay. The fat merchant's just grinning. She shoots daggers at you with her eyes as she sees you striding up. I've already
smile.
put in my winning bid, she says.
No, it's not closed yet. Now is it?
No, we've got a few minutes left. I'm sure that we could look at the next bids.
Oh.
Current bid is at 28 talents for Voxy Prim. Who is all there at the moment? As you're collecting your...
I don't remember what Magnus is doing. He might show up if he's not doing anything.
Yeah, I think Magnus is showing up because he's got new gladiators, and you're the trainer of
Damian
gladiators.
is, honest to God, only there to fuck with Sindara.
So Ashoka would be there if he knew Sindara was to be fucked with, but I don't think he knows that, so I don't think he's there.
Okay.
Now,
You were the one that spent time in the marketplace arranging the deal, so I think
No, Ashoka's there then.
Ashoka's there.
And Ashoka is
And then-
not the
and
vacant
then-
landlord.
And then we've got a Damian. I don't know where his token it went. Where's Damian? He's at the house.
Yeah.
Murmur.
Hmm.
Okay, it's not Claude the slaver, it's just some other fat slaver that you guys are talking to.
Interesting.
And Zindara is there. She's fuming.
Now, don't get tusky. It'll be fine.
She didn't like that remark.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I demand that if they're going to put in another bid, that we show a coin. Very well, given that the bid will expire, all the bids will expire in a moment, and a winner will be declared for Voxy Prim, and you can see this dollhouse turned into a cage and something inside going...
Ashoka's gonna go look at Voxy Prim.
Okay.
With Ashoka, once Ashoka shows up, Damian's like, oh.
There's a sign in several languages that say, including trade common, that says "Warning, stand back, fingers, dangerous creature."
He kind of
don't put-
elbows you as you approach. Watch this. Who likes murder?
Do you know your own name?
Yes? Do you know your own name? Come closer. I want to see your big snake eyes. Stick your nose between the bars. It'll be okay.
It won't be.
How many languages do you speak?
I wonder if you've got red water inside of you because you're green.
Do you like it when the red water comes out?
Damian's like, isn't she wonderful?
So the shapeshifter didn't know a language, so on my sheet I had language of the shapeshifter or the dark gnomes.
Yeah, he just knew trade common.
So it would be the dark gnomes.
So Zverf.
All right.
Do you want, like, undercommon, or do you want Zverf Neblin?
Whichever one they speak amongst themselves.
Zverf Neblin.
Okay.
But they probably also speak undercommon.
We'll learn that next.
Okay. You just do Zverf. S-V-I-R-F.
It was mostly close. Not really.
I want her. She's such a darling. There. She counts out. She's reaching into a bag. You don't. It might be a bag of holding. She counts out 30 talents. Oh, the merchant's really pleased. Would you like to make a counter bid, one of you, from the conclave, or perhaps the barony would like such a wonderful creature, deranged and dangerously quick.
Quickly.
Yes, Damian?
Oh, we should get it. We should get it. Plus, I'm relatively sure, based on the look on her eye, she's gonna kill us with her if we don't.
Killing's fun.
She's wonderful.
How long is she until maturity? You said she was like a child?
Child gnome. Yep.
So
30 years.
She'll be at least 15 years before she's mature.
Oh, yes, but she can kill a lot of people before that.
She would be tiny as a young gnome that is small. Like gnomes are small. She was tiny.
And he puts an arm around your shoulder and leans in. And think of how moldable she'll be.
Well, is there a counter bid from the conclave? It is getting long in the
Magnus
hour.
is there.
This
Magnus,
is what my father would call a long-term investment.
If Magnus is there,
Yep, you're there.
yeah, it's like, Ashoka, no, let the queen have her.
Hey,
Stop it.
hey. Don't interfere just because you're going to be old when she's useful.
I'm not training that thing.
I'm pretty
Give
certain
it-
he'll be
give it
dead
to the
when
queen.
she's useful.
Let her have it. Let the queen have her. Besides, if I die, I'll take you all with me, you bastards.
How far away is the queen from us?
Sitting right beside you guys.
So she can overhear the conversation.
Yep.
Yep.
So this conversation is really for the queen.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
I understand that it's an investment, but the Grim Goblin have had a very difficult season. They do need some stars to help rebuild.
Ashoka.
She grimaces at Ashoka.
Ashoka. Do you have a heart? Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yes. I might have a heart.
They don't have a bid.
That's a lie.
She puts up her hand kind of like in your faces and speaks to the merchant. The merchant's sitting on his on a stool, and he's just kind of like trying to look around her. Is that true? Is the conclave admitting defeat?
Ooh.
Yes, we have been defeated by the Grim Goblin and their mighty purse.
What about the mighty lieutenant? Very close you got in winning the spring seasonal. Perhaps with a creature like this at your side, you might be able to best. And he kind of waves his fingers towards Magnus.
Nah, not even close.
He like waves at it. Goodbye, my little friend.
I know. We see each other.
Happy murdering.
Hey, well, 30 talents then. Congratulations, I hope she brings you many victories in the arena. she pays 30 talents. A bunch of goblins off to the side come over and hike up the big cage that is the dollhouse where the box.
What happens to the one who puts his hand too close to the bars?
Yeah, there is a goblin that you see kind of like poking inside. Ah, there's things inside! And he pulls back his finger, and his finger is gone. You notice a finger going flipping out of one of the top windows, and some little glee coming out of the. Hey, Fox. So
So what we're gonna do someday is when Sid gets back, his only job is to go and release that thing among the Grim Goblin.
Pleasure speaking with you, Sandara.
Go to hell, she says.
Love you too, dear.
Same
Give
to
me a
you.
break. At least I didn't kill the gladiators.
No, you killed a few of them.
No, she outbid them. The only gladiator that was bought was Quailsy, the female Nagaji barbarian.
Which is interesting, because it's the first other Nagaji I've ever seen.
Yep.
Hey, there's a Nagaji. Oh,
Bought-
what did we...
Oh, you
So
bought it.
Andrew,
Yeah,
the
we're gonna go to war.
paladin, got bought by the Broken Shield. Lambda, the very smart bugbear, female bugbear, got bought by the House of the Goblin. Quailsy, the female Nagaji barbarian, got bought by the Conclave. Foxy Prim got purchased by the Grim Goblin, and the Knights of Vaddapol bought themselves a centaur.
Now, I might be mistaken, but we were keeping Quailsy because we're letting Drain go.
Oh, right. The random encounter with Drain was no, thank you. That lodged my memory. We had a random encounter where Drain was being asked for got an offer for freedom
From the Rangers. Yeah.
if he served for a number of years by the Imperial Rangers, as they heard that one of their own was becoming a champion in the arena, and your ducal tax was waived if you
Yeah,
guys
Drain.
agreed to this. So basically, you won 20 talents for Drain's service, and gave one of the gladiators that was like really happy to Magnus, like really pally with Magnus, his free like a path to freedom.
Right, you did the whole Magnus is the freer of gladiators.
That's right. That's right.
Also, we're one step closer to being able to eliminate Magnus without having all the gladiators turn on us and try to kill us.
Wait, what?
All right. So, well, these gladiators are still in the city.
Oh,
They're just
Fox, we're still going to get the gladiator. just not right now,
Got
right?
it. And then instead of actually actively going to get gladiators, it looks like the Conclave, the Circus of Dread, sent their market people to go and fetch gladiators. So let us see what they come back with. Are they able to buy 2 blooded gladiators?
Because if not,
Blooded or veteran?
It's blooded.
Blooded.
Blooded?
Yep.
Okay, that's easy.
For under 10 grand, and the definition of blooded is level 3 through 5. Okay, so what is the market score of the Circus of Dread? You've got 2 dice and 2 personnel, which is 4. Okay. A blooded gladiator. Got it. And they've got basically 4 weeks to do this task, so you've got 16 dice. What happened earlier tonight? They tried to have a meeting with Tacitus, they being the Countess and the Circus of Dread, but Tacitus was in a terrible state of mental inebriation. He was going crazy and having paint fights, and they met briefly with Phineas instead. They also dealt with the aftermath of the fight with Maeve. And while she didn't leave too angry, she did catch them in a lie and then decided to stop sharing her backstory with them. It's like, come on, tell us all about yourself. And then she asked a question back and they lied, and she saw through it, and she's like, okay, I'm leaving. Then said the breaks. So you need some blooded gladiators, all right? 4 dice, 4 different weeks. So I need them in groups of 4, and give me 4 separate rolls of 4d6.
go ahead, guys.
All right, I will do the first one. Ha! 3 successes.
Okay, they found a potential gladiator, so that's 1.
Second one. Ah!
Oh, sorry.
2 successes. Actually, that's Mark's. 2 successes. There you go, Mark.
Okay, so 1, 2 successes. Okay, they didn't find any that week. They found gladiators. They didn't find any good ones.
3 successes the next week.
Okay. And then the higher the successes, the better it is. And then the 4th week.
2 successes.
All right, so they found you 2 blooded gladiators. And I guess we have a random chart for this. So
Hard.
they are, unfortunately, both 3rd level.
Yeah, and their names are going and gone. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so why don't we just roll up their race, just because
Okay.
there needs to be a
Just in
description.
case,
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
bite, there's the race has to be good. Otherwise, they are not.
Minotaur,
We went
you
to
say?
hell. We went
Right,
to hell
exactly.
Baker with those
what
other
do you
dudes.
mean we sent the gold and silver dragon duo off to the war? Yeah, rolling. Fox wants to see the rolls.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Gladiator Gen. In fact, we'll make Fox and Random roll these. So we're rolling for races. These are the 2 blooded gladiators that are percentile and percentile. Go. Or we'll just do one. We'll do the first one first. Percentile. D100. It's a male of something. Anyone? D100?
Oh, me, sorry.
Oh, native outsider? Okay, D12.
Anyone on the stream?
Three, two, one, go.
All
Oh, there we go.
Foxfire.
5 is a tiefling.
Interesting.
Far too mundane.
All right, so I'm just gonna mark down where are we putting this? Circus of Dread. So we've got a male tiefling
Veni.
level 3. And then we have a male percentile D100.
Oh, 7.
Core race D8.
8.
Come on, human.
A variant core race. Okay, another. We'll use the second D8. Alternate racial traits. Okay. We'll say it is a male.
So the D8.
Wait, so 8 was core race. We got variant core race, so we need to roll another D8. D8 was 5, so it's a male half elf.
Okay.
A variant is drow. So you've got a male tiefling and a male half drow. Apparently they fought together and now they're being sent off to war together.
Oh, you guys will be on the night patrol. You can both see in the dark. Bye-bye.
Mazel tov.
All right, so you were gone and goodbye is basically what the Circus of Dread got, and then you said for under, one of them cost you 4 talents, the other one cost you 6.
Hey, look at that. 10 talents. That was their budget.
Job.
pretty
You
good.
guys get to keep your jobs.
Okay, you want to mark that down underneath the expenses, and I'm just gonna make a note that they're off to war.
Now, they were donated, so if they...
No, they're on loan.
they're-
So if they
oh, they
survive,
could come back.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you get these veterans of some campaign afterwards, and they're all high level and beef and stuff.
They come back and, like, beat your ass. Like, nah, watch this.
Meanwhile, we've
Like
been
doing
selling
clay
guys
fights
off
with
like,
wooden
we don't have
swords.
facilities.
Okay, I believe Damian has a task to perform for the count, where you were to pick out and lead 13 people into the arena.
I was supposed to pick out and lead 13 people into the arena.
Do you remember this?
Or no, for execution or something.
They were to be 13 followers of the old gods and verified.
Yes. Oh yes, and
And
sacrifice.
you were to hand them over to the Imperial Magi.
Yes.
Oh, you such a dick.
And the Count was basically threatened by the Imperial Magi that if they're not old god followers, we will know and make an example of you.
Okay. Alright. So, Damian will help the Commissar of Games.
Okay, so you already met with the Commissar, and
Yeah.
He's got some of his jailers now letting you go through the city owned slave pens and as well as the criminals. There's a jailer there that's, yeah, which 13 do you want? He's got a cold and he keeps on kind of like snorting his snot all over the place. His name is Bill.
Well,
Sergeant Bill.
Well, Sergeant, we're looking for 13 followers of the old gods.
Well, sure. If they're Imperial, they're not in this jail cell, I could tell you for sure.
Well, that's good. Though the church has.
If they're
made
not Imperials,
something.
they're heathens, so take your pick.
Church has converted some, so let's not make a mistake here.
Yeah, well,
Though if they truly converted, would they be in jail? Still.
we do have a priest here to hear any of their pissing and moaning.
Oh, I'd like to speak to him if that's at all possible.
Yeah, he'll be around. Usually comes around noon.
And what time is it now?
It's shortly before noon, but it's annoying that this jailer is making you wait.
Fine.
Can you wait? Eventually this priest shows up. He's a little bit late. This is really, really skinny priest. He comes in. He almost like rats his way into the jail cell.
He wants to meet him outside. He doesn't want to be in the jail.
Okay. I need some names. So we've got Sergeant Bill, the jailer, Gaylor, and
Bill Dozer.
and then we've got an Abbot Zavith.
Hello, Lieutenant. By the graces of the five-faced god.
Raises his hand towards you.
Thank you, and to you.
What can I do for you?
We need to bless the new arena, and being called upon to find 13 heathens, spill their blood for this blessing.
Yes.
Followers of the old gods. I was wondering if perhaps there weren't a few of he points back at the building, all residents who've spit on the words you've spoken to them, trying to save their souls.
There are a couple of barbarians from the north. They're always going on about lurg or cord or something
Oh, they'll do.
ridiculous. They are beyond reproach.
Excellent.
They are known killers. There are only 2 of them left, though. Most of them from the recent flood of captives have been spent in the arena already. As for the rest of them, there is one unrepentant murderer. I think he has got some sort of demon in him. He leans in. He's some sort of imbiber of illicit substances.
Not to follow the five-faced god, though, I trust.
However, the rest are not slated for death. They have not wanted it. They are simply minor thieves and
I
others who will perhaps serve out their sentences by service to the state, to the church.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I was in there earlier. A number of them assaulted me.
I see.
Give me a bluff check.
34.
I hope you weren't hurt.
No, I've been practicing defending myself after my loss in the arena. Very disappointing. But perhaps some of these men who've assaulted an Imperial citizen, their sentences could be changed.
I'm sorry I'm not a magister. I'm simply here to convert any of those that wish to convert to the Father.
Oh, you should stop that right now. Stop that right now.
I'm also here to administer to some of their medical needs as much as the jail can afford.
Yeah.
You may want to talk to the jailer if you want to talk to them about their particular arrangements.
You don't seem to understand who wants them.
I'm not sure I understand what you're at, Lieutenant.
The Magisters want them.
The Magister of...
Oh, not the Magisters, yeah, Magisters, aren't they? What's... Yes.
Magistrate Veru likely has no need for any of these people.
No, not the Magistrate. Am I saying it wrong? Magisters?
The Imperial Magi?
Oh, thank you.
The Magi.
I don't know how to go with Magisters. The Imperial Magi.
Oh. What for?
To bless the arena.
He thinks for a long moment.
I'll tell you what. He puts a hand on him, like as if to calm him. You
He's looking at
write
your
me a
hand.
list of heathens. Give me their names,
I could
and
go...
I will speak to Magistrate Veru.
Right. It's the two northerners that I mentioned and the murderer. They
Are
were
there any
slated for...
other followers of the old gods?
Yes, most non-Imperials follow the gods of their ancestors. I would say... Well, I'm very close to converting at least 4 of them. That's what he
Okay.
says.
And he looks at him. Stop it!
I'm sorry?
Stop converting them.
No, that
Give
is...
me their names.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I'm not sure you understand. By the graces of the five-faced god, we are sent
I'm not
here
sure you understand. The Imperial Magi will have you in that arena if they don't have 13 heathens to condemn to death.
Well, I am not here to condemn people to death. I am
Then
here...
fuck off!
Give me an intimidate check.
Somebody missed his fiber this morning.
23.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but you cannot speak to an abbot this way.
I think I just did.
My superiors will hear of this.
Yes, by all means.
Okay. Abbot Sveith goes wandering off away from
And
the
I
tower.
want that list.
I already told you the two heathens the murderer.
He's trying to get away from you, like he's physically moving away. If you cornered him, you might get more out of him.
No, he's going to
He's running away from you. In a westwardly direction.
He's going into the jail.
Okay. Sergeant Bill's sort of leaning forward in his chair. What was all
your
the
rat?
shouting about?
Who's your rat in here?
My rat?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Oh, you know, the one who's always trying to curry favor.
Oh, that man over there.
Shit, you just point him out in front of everyone? This is cruel.
Oh, everyone knows. He's got brown nose.
All right.
Yes, did you need something?
Yes, I do.
Loot challenge. I knew. We're climbing high, aren't we? We're climbing high.
Sure.
An old, crazy-looking man. Bit dirty. Did you bring me something to eat? A little crumb of something delicious?
I can bring you a cake later on if you want.
A whole cake just for me? How are we going to fit it through the bars?
I'll pass it to you piece by piece through the bars if you want.
You would sit with me and eat cake?
Oh, goodness, no. But I will give you a cake. I can afford that much.
Oh, in pieces on whole. I could put it back together on this end.
Is he quite sane?
Oh, he's been here for some time. Don't know what to do with him. He's not going to offer much sport in the arena. He's helpful. He cleans up after stuff. Sergeant's within. What can I help you for, Lieutenant?
Okay.
I just want to serve. Just want to serve the Duke.
Well, that's excellent, because the Duke needs your service.
Sign me up.
Let
me be a soldier.
+1.
I want to be a soldier. I can march back and forth. He's pretending to do a little march, and then he's obviously old and cricks his back.
I'll tell you what I do need. I need to make a list.
List. I'm good for lists.
I've already got 3 people for my lists. The 2 northern barbarians and the murderer that are in here. But I need 10 other men who worship the old gods, and they have to worship the old gods.
Old gods. Yes. Not
Yes.
the new ones.
You hear?
Not the five-faced god. No.
Not the five-faced god, no. The ones who call out at night to the old gods for mercy or protection or vengeance.
Oh,
Them.
yes. There's lots of heathens here.
Yes, I need 10 more.
10 more heathens?
Yes.
Are they going to get cake too?
No, the cake is only for you.
Oh, only for me.
But they will get their just desserts, he says to himself like an evil villain.
Are you a worshipper of the five-faced god?
I am.
Okay. So heathens.
Yes. Can you find me those heathens? For some yummy chocolate cake?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start making a list, shall we?
the sergeant's already got a list of the people that are in the jail cell.
Okay.
Your rat named Sneg. Sneg is able to point out. Oh yes, him. And him? No, not him. He's been listening to the sermons, and he knows all about the people in the jail.
Okay, Sneg is my boy in the jail. Well, thank you, Sneg.
Thank you. You put in a good word for me.
Absolutely.
Tell the Emperor that I serve.
Oh, absolutely. He does want to talk to the men after he's got his list together, just to double check, like, sense motive.
Okay. Give me a sense motive. You start asking people what gods they worship, and they're all starting to say the five-faced god.
Yep. Plus 17. 32.
You're able to see in some of the cells. You do see like strange finger painting in dirt of like non-five-faced god, a religious iconography. A few of them spit when you start asking.
That's pretty obvious. Yeah, thank you.
You're confused about two. You're confused about two of them. Two of them just don't answer you.
Okay.
One of them's too drunk to answer, and the other one might be too simple. And then the other one's like,
not a citizen. He asks. He asks the jailer.
That one, no, he got captured. He got captured in, I don't know, way far east from here. And that simpleton, we found him in the streets.
Well, hey, he's talking to the simpleton.
yeah.
Do you like cord?
Huh?
Like cord, eh? He's big and strong.
Strong, yeah.
You like cord?
Okay.
Yay, cord.
Cord.
Sounds like a worshiper to me. All right.
Damian
Did
is
you say a prayer to cord today?
Damian is evil. He is one uncaring bastard. Okay, so you gather up these 13. The sergeant's looking at you. We gotta move them where?
Oh, they're going to the dungeons in the civic arena.
All right. We can chain 6 at a time.
All right, let's move 6 at a time then.
One big caravan of 13. We can put heavy chains on the 13th.
Do we have the men to move them?
Well, I got 4 men.
Huh. Let me gather a few more men.
Okay. You're grabbing Phoenix and your 2 dudes?
Yep.
All right. They're eager to find out what their orders are, and then they put on their armor and they come down with you. But an hour later, you guys are escorting. The sergeant stays here. He's got to look after the jail. He says.
Yeah.
He's also not interested in going to the arena. You have your orders. You arrive at the Vaddapol Civic Arena, and you can see that there are 2 Magi standing outside. And you're pretty sure that you saw prowling around the edge of the Vaddapol Arena. There are no crowds here. It is completely empty. A couple of Inquisitors have been just walking just sort of around the arena, like doing a patrol.
Okay.
They do walk up to you when you have this big group. Orders.
He hands him the orders because he had the orders.
They look at the orders. They look at ranks. Only you.
Very well.
The Inquisitors walk over and pass the orders to 2 Magi that are standing outside the arena in their red armor and strange magic weapons. The Magi just take the order. He doesn't even look at it. Follow us.
Okay, Damian follows.
As a couple of Magi flank Damian, and the chain of people are taken into custody. Phoenix and the men-at-arms basically shuffle, get the prisoners to shuffle along. There are Magi that keep them walking. There's one Magi that kind of drops a completely made out of energy cat o' nine tails, and just sort of starts whipping above the heads of the prisoners to keep them moving. Move! and they all kind of like start this weird shimmying shuffle in their chains as they go into
that's
the
a
arena.
neat trick. I should like to learn that one.
This one was sent by the count. They almost say count like it was a dirty word. You should hope that this works, and what you're about to see does not go beyond this arena. Do you understand?
Understood.
You can see that they have completed their construction. There are two massive stone circles made out of black stone that have been installed on either opposing side of the arena. There are strange runes cut into these really old stones. You can't tell exactly what they're made out of, but they look really impressive. Lots of little scratch marks and little shatter marks in them. In the center, they have recently did some digging, but it looks like it's all kind of padded back in. The earth is showing signs that it was kind of dug up recently and put in, and you could notice that there are some magi with rakes. It looks weird. You've got Imperial Magi. Some of them are just kind of raking up the sand to make it look like it's mixing in with the rest of it.
Okay.
The 13 people in the chains are just brought into the center of the arena and are told to sit down. And you've got two clusters of condemned, basically at this point in time, sitting together. What they did was they simply chained the last 7 guy to the cluster of 6. The Magi kind of spread out, and they seem to be waiting. They close up the arena. There's a bunch of tarps and things that are above. You notice that one Magi is talking to another, and he's got this figurine of what looks like this weird draconic thing in his hand, and he's just talking to them. He's just talking to another Magi.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Knowledge Arcana.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Damian. Knowledge Arcana. Alright, nice. Okay. 17.
You're pretty sure it's a figurine that looks like a wyvern.
Okay.
They seem to be talking about the item as if like they're not used to it or something like that, and they're just chatting about it. They wait for a while. Eventually, the raking stops, and there's about 8 Magi. There may be a few more in the wings that are standing around in a circle, just keeping watch over the prisoners. There's one nearby you who just seems to be leaning on a pole arm.
Yeah, Damian's trying not to look bored, but
Yep, he's definitely keeping an eye on you, like kind of keeping you in vision, in his sight. He's not talking to you. You get the strange feeling that you're a prisoner.
yeah, he does that thing where he looks over at him like, "Nice day."
Okay, for a brief moment, you got him to just glance away. Something must be happening because they're all now standing up and standing alert and kind of moving around. They look like they're waiting towards where the Baron sits. There's this ear-popping sound as something rips through reality itself, and there's this there's a bending portal and light as several more Imperial Magi come out and start marching into the sands. Another 2 Imperial Magi. These ones are much more, their armor's much more intricate. Their weapons are actually on. Some of the Magi have weapons where like they look like staves and then weird blades come out of them. Their weapons are on. They are flanking this really, really voluminously robed figure that just sort of glides out amongst all of them. It's almost like his robes are so large that it made a medium-sized creature large. Like there might actually be a creature inside there, but there's so many layers to the robes. It's kind of like cowled, and you can't quite see. All the Magi drop their bow their
Up to
heads.
the knee. Oh, bow their heads. Damian's gonna do the same, but he's looking up through his eyes.
Okay.
Like, what the hell am I seeing here?
There is something that just glides forward. The portal shuts behind. All of your ears pop again. So 4 more magi, and then this thing. A wizard? Is this a true Imperial wizard? Give me a knowledge arcana or a knowledge nobility.
Let me double check which is better. Probably the same. Yep. 20.
You think this wizard might be a member of the royal family.
Oh my! Okay, he gets down on one knee.
Okay. It seems to not really pay much attention to you. It has in its hands a very, very long staff that ends in some very strange looking brand. At this point, it is speaking, and the voice seems to be echoing from like a tunnel inside the cowls of its robes.
Okay.
And weird purplish flames kind of jut out of the end of the brand. People are cowing. Some of the lesser Imperial Magi go over and begin to basically pacify the condemned.
Yep.
This Imperial glides to the first one, and the 2 magi basically seize this man by his chest, and he pushes the brand into this guy's chest. The end of the brand has got to be buckler sized. Okay. The man screams as the brand is branding him. When he pulls it away, it looks like the brand almost took with it the guy's soul, as there was like a superimposed like ghostly figure that kind of got wrenched away from the brand at the last moment, like it was about to be pulled out, but it went back in. Give me a spellcraft or a knowledge arcana.
21.
Yeah, this item is not only branding their skin, but it is branding their soul, their spirit.
Brand your soul.
Okay.
They're not dead. They're still alive and kind of on the
yeah.
ground whimpering. It may have also drained them a little bit. You're not sure, but it looks painful. The 13 are branded. And you've got 13 people that are all just sort of lying in the sands.
And right now, Damian is crossing his fingers at that drunk ass guy. It's not a.
Yeah, this sobers him up by this point. All the waiting as well. The Imperial Magi do not show any signs of heart or care for these people. The Imperial slowly turns his voluminous robes. You still can't even see. It's like there's too many robes. Like there isn't a person there, or maybe there's somebody deep inside the dark cowls. He just simply hands off the brand to one of the 4 senior Imperial Magi. The Imperial Magi takes it. It kind of starts shrinking a little bit. He points at you, and you feel the weight of rulership upon you. What is your intelligence?
12.
Let me just check a magic item.
Just let us have the heroes, man. We gotta deal with this. We gotta kill these guys off now. There's some 30 giant tigers.
What is it called? A rod of rulership?
We gotta destroy
Creatures within scores of 12 or higher are each entitled to a will save. You get a will save.
Not my best. Save.
The will save is
Feeling lucky or charmed in your existence.
The will save is 25, however.
Yeah, he's going to use his charmed existence thing. So plus 10, 22.
Okay. He points at you, and by imperial command commands you to kill the 13 condemned.
Well, shit, you didn't need magic for that, buddy. Yeah, he
Kill the condemned. Do it now.
he draws his
Do it efficiently.
dagger and slits all their throats one at
Okay.
a time.
All right. Give me a 13 perception checks.
Perception.
How many souls do you see?
The Imperial just basically kind of goes forward to another one of the senior Magi while you are dispatching.
13 perception.
Yeah,
checks?
13 perception checks. One for each of the
So,
people that you
12
are
more.
killing.
Wow, that's worst one is 14.
I'm looking for the best one.
Oh, the best one is 30.
Okay. So on the third person that you killed, you got a weird feeling on the first two, but on the third one, you kind of got the sensation that this person's soul, as it was leaving its body, was going down. Like perhaps the branding allowed you to see the souls leaving the body.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought this one seemed like it was being pulled rapidly downwards. It was just an ever so. It was really quick. Like it was so quick that
I might be mistaken.
you might have been mistaken, or maybe you're not. You paused for a moment. You notice by this point in time that the Imperial one of the Imperial soldiers has put a glass orb onto the top of the brand and is holding up the shaft of the brand, and the Imperial is looking into the orb.
Okie doke.
You don't know what he's looking at. There's a pause, and you could feel the Imperial, like as you paused when you saw something, you could feel the Imperial starting to turn his head towards you.
I'm going.
Yeah, and you're also compulsed, like you are as efficiently as possible. You go down the line. You don't see, as much as you tried to see it again, you don't see it again.
Okay. That is a thing that happened.
And you are lucky with the drunk. One was, he was a five-faced god worshiper.
Okay.
When it's all done, the Imperial stares into this orb. Eventually just nods. One of the senior Magi takes the orb off of the staff and kind of makes it disappear into like a bag of holding or something. Maybe it shrinks down and he puts it in a belt pouch. The other Imperial basically does something to the staff which causes it to kind of collapse into a rod, and the Imperial basically waves a hand towards where the portal was and opens it up again, and then the whole 5 of them begin to march back into the portal. Give me a will save.
I'm going to use my charmed existence again.
Okay.
28.
You did well. Remember that, and remember that only. as the guy who was watching you, you realize the mailed hand is just kind of like touching on top of your head. You felt like a flood in your eyes. You fell back into the sands for a moment, and all of the Imperial Magi begin following through the portal. A couple more come out of the sides, kind of like flying towards the portal. And a few moments later, you've got like a dizzy head. You're standing in the stands. Your last order is to burn these corpses.
He salutes and nods.
Okay, the Magi have now left the city.
Okay, Damian finds some oil and lights them up.
Okay, yeah, you create a pyre. Eventually,
Yep.
it appears that the Inquisitors aren't very interested anymore in patrolling. You find your soldiers coming in. Is everything all right? They said we could go in, and Phoenix and the icons are helping you build a pyre.
Yep. Yeah, Damian's pretty quiet, probably a little white.
Okay, the sergeant doesn't press, but they help you create a pyre, and you're soon watching a pyre being burned in the middle of Vaddapol Civic Arena.
Alright, let us return to the Count and let him know that the orders have been fulfilled.
Okay, the Count looks relieved. He asks several times if they were pleased with the offering.
They were.
He looks a little sick to his stomach. He was about to ask you a question, but then he didn't. He kind of doesn't ask.
Orders are orders, sir.
The gods forgive us, is what he says.
You should have been in the... I'm kidding.
So same boy, I get the feeling that Damian's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, he's a count. He can have his... He's got rank. He can have all the feelings he wants. I don't like your orders.
No. Damian's just kind of waiting to be dismissed.
Yep.
So,
Did you get the monies that you need?
I don't. No, I didn't actually. No, sir. I made sure to fulfill the orders first.
Good. Okay, he kind of turns like he wants to be left alone.
Yeah, Damian will leave him alone. He's got no interest. He's not looking for a drinking buddy today. So.
It does look like the Count had a bottle of something.
Yep. He knows what he did. He knows what Damian did. He knows exactly what Damian did.
Count Sargon of Vaddapol has a good idea. He does not share that with Damian. Ah, that was pleasantly dark. What do you do with your soldiers?
He actually he's gonna bring him out to go for a drink at the.
Okay, so Damian also goes for a drink at the Rusty Fiddle Tavern, or
The Fox and
the Fox and
Grouse.
Grouse. A little upscale from what we're used to, sir.
I'm treating.
Oh, what's Sid doing there? Sid is
He's not here. Cedar's gone.
Sid is gone. He's growing in a tank right now.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that was Damian's task. Let me just cross that off my list.
He doesn't remember nothing, right?
No, he
Was that
does. He does.
Oh,
he made
I
a
thought that was a modified memory in the.
he
you
remembers-
saw
he
nothing.
remembers.
No.
Yeah, they tried.
They think I don't remember. Damian remembers.
Oh, I didn't realize. You should tell us what their faces look like, and then we can mug them when their spells are down. Take their magic items.
Who?
Exactly.
Who? All right, so
Imperial.
Vaddapol's got
Imperial
got an upgrade to their Civic Arena. I'm excited. Can't wait.
So
Wait, what happened to Sid? Sid tried to spy on the creepy Imperial dudes as they were doing something in the Vaddapol Civic Arena. We did the D6 rolling method. He didn't. He rolled like something like 13 dice or 12 dice and rolled 1s and 2s. Like, and then
it was a total mark roll. Like,
it was like he failed all the rolls. So he got captured, and Damian eventually caught wind of this, went out to visit Vogel, his uncle, who basically sent Sid to act as the spy, and Vogel confirmed that Sid was dead or about to die. But Vogel also, with some of his servants, collected bits of flesh, and is now, or was willing to grow a clone of Sid, such that Sid's soul could go back into the clone body before the Imperials got rid of any of the evidence. So Sid is in a tank right now, growing.
So
that was an audience hero point to get Sid back.
That's interesting, because I almost rolled like that on just like going to go see the. I'm glad I didn't do anything exciting with my roll of bullshit, my 12d6 or whatever it was.
Well, no, you guys were warned, don't go here, and everyone, like, there was plenty of like clue by fours that even the important people in town were afraid of going into the arena. And the people that tried to spy on the arena were disappearing. Okay, I gotta go spy on the arena, guys. Arlen also spied on the arena, but they were flying really high up with a fly spell as he was taking his date on some magical
He's like,
fly.
let's go take a look.
So I'm sure if the Imperials found out. Anyways, yeah, don't fuck with the Imperials.
Let's get the heroes out and end this bullshit.
And we can just raffle stomp the Imperium for fun.
Just like
This was your first glimpse at how the Imperials do.
well, let's go and undo.
It was also very curious that the Imperial Magi were working with Inquisitors. That's usually a thing that doesn't happen. The Imperial Magi represent the army of maguses that serve the royal or the Imperial family, or perhaps the Emperor himself. And then the Inquisitors are a branch of the Church of the Five-Faced God. Their goals are not always similar. The same.
We were able to cheat hard enough in gladiator fights that they had to come together to stop us.
You're welcome.
It took the full might of the Imperium to
For
stop
all
Magnus.
the rules I broke.
Guy should have stolen Tacitus' staff and set a trap in the middle of the arena. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Boom! The rebellion has begun!
Did you finish putting your really expensive enchantment in the arena yet? That'll stop us from cheating? Yeah, let's blow up the whole fucking arena. Staff of power of the arena.
Interesting. That evening, you hear there must be something religious going on at the Towers of Faith, because there's a lot of singing. It's like none of you are really that religious and have strong ties there, but there's a candlelight vigil and singing and a late night mass at the Towers of Faith.
Is it like happy singing, or is it like mourning of 13 people being sacrificed?
No, it is happy and glorious singing that the blessings of the Five-Faced God have come to Vaddapol.
Anybody else want a revolution? This is bullshit. Imperial garbage.
What's the Beatles song? A Revolution? I think it's just called Revolution. Gonna have a revolution. Hey, you know.
With spring attack. Hey.
All right. Damian, Phineas has a chance to go and look at research.
Yeah, he's going to try and research.
Give me a knowledge arcana check as you're trying to look into the Shadow Star research as you're going through Tacitus's old notes and folios and the like.
35 on his knowledge arcana.
Okay. Yeah. So you get a series of letters that were between Tacitus when he was quite he was quite lucid. These go back years, however.
Mm-hmm.
That he has been involved with a series of correspondences about topics like this. You find a group of letters, and you have to kind of read through letters, where a particular count from Vaed, who is married to the woman that came to visit Tacitus yesterday, was asking about items that his... You don't know if it's a distant relative, but about some hero of the Shadow Wars by the name of Ambrose managed to capture from the enemy.
Okay.
And the questions seemingly swirled around a number of items. First, I'm going to find the name of this person, which you may have already written down for the other party. It is Count Griswalder Opel of Vaed.
Okay.
Married to Countess Gavina Opel of the de la Plume family. He
Sorry,
asked...
say his name again?
Count Griswalder.
Griswalder. All right. Hugh?
And then there's Countess Gavina Opel. He asks a bunch of questions about basically what are these items? Why can't the sword be removed from its sheath? What is the book that bleeds shadow? What is the thing? And there's a series of letters where they go back and forth, and like a couple of diagrams where they actually are doing like long distance identify, which is really annoying. Identify through letters, but they do come to the at least in the correspondence that you read, the conclusion that these items are of a rare type of magic that seemed to go out of style, or at least was only really used heavily during the Shadow Wars, and due to the events that occurred, have waned in use in recent centuries.
Is that due to it being outlawed by the Imperium?
The Imperium also, first it's the shadow weave that they're talking about. The second is you learn that these items are indeed crafted by the shadow weave. Third thing that you learn is that the shadow weave can, if you're not schooled in its use, erode your mind.
Oh, we've seen that.
Okay.
Your willpower ends up being eroded, making the specialty of shadow users, of shadow weave users, even more effective, as they like charm, illusion, shadow spells, and necromancy.
Okay.
Shadow weave users cannot use light descriptor spells.
All right.
And I believe they may also be bad at evocation.
Now, can one use both the weave and the shadow weave?
Give me a knowledge arcana. Now, so you spent basically a day going through these letters, and you know that there are likely a number of items that need to be identified properly.
Yeah.
And that the only true way to do that would be in person. And apparently this is a long-standing kind of like request to bring the items to Tacitus for proper identification.
Okay. 28.
Now, just offhand, you know that it is not something that you can... It's a one-way thing. Wizards or priests or any magic user can undergo a ceremony to become a Shadow Weave user, and then all the magic that they produce
Is from
the Shadow Weave. It is like they're tapping into the space between the weaves. The tapestry of magic. So the answer is no. However, do you have ranks and use magic device?
I don't think I do. Not yet.
Okay, so you're basically a straight-laced... Well, the formula says you're not about
Exactly,
tricking
yeah.
magic items, so you don't know that there could be other ways of doing it. So don't meta. As we're talking about things your character doesn't know. That's horrible DMing, Marty. All right.
Here's all the things you don't know how to do.
Here's all the things you don't know.
All possible solutions.
Or I'm kind of hinting to others that there may be ways around it. They suspect that the blade is elven.
Okay.
Your master thought that it might be a moon blade, although there was this back and forth discussion about how far elves would have fallen that great moon blades would have been crafted with shadow magic, and they seemed really perturbed at that thought. There was a third person involved in this correspondence, however.
Okay.
It appears that there was a series of letters between all three parties, and the other person involved in these discussions has an imperial title.
Okay.
Did I write his name down? Let's have a look. I vaguely recall creating tokens for this. We are in Dread and Circus, and oh boy. All right. His name is Imperial Custodian Camas Vord.
What is an imperial?
What is so funny? What are we giggling about?
You're starting to go on a certain path. I'm gonna go to Adam. Perfect setup. And then Cade walks in.
Oh, your other character? Okay.
My response was, and then punches the nerd in the dick.
You can give me a knowledge local. Although you may not have it, you may have like the continent in local. You could give me a knowledge arcana, or you could give me a knowledge nobility.
Okay. Give me a second here. I've got knowledge local Vaddapol, knowledge local Vinvasa.
Nope, neither of those.
So knowledge arcana.
Sure.
Right. $40.
Okay, Imperial Custodian Camus Vord. So, the Imperium and the Imperial Ministry of Arcana does have positions called Ministers of Custodians and Curation. This is a title that can be granted to, in special cases, to non-humans who look after places and things of great magical power that weren't created by the Imperium, but that were captured or conquered or that are managed by the Imperium.
Okay.
Imperial Custodian Camus Vord is the Imperial Custodian of a place called Citadel by the Lake,
All right.
which was once an elven city. With a 40, you know that Imperial Custodian Camus Vord is a half-elf.
Okay. He's the Imperial Custodian of what? Sorry.
Citadel by the Lake.
Did they happen to say which lake?
Now, the name of the citadel is Citadel dash by dash the dash
City.
Lake.
It's an old
Is there a
elven
hyphen
city.
in there?
You're guessing that it might have been like some elven capital. You're guessing that the city might itself be a magical place to have a imperial custodian there. Mm-hmm. Makes sense that he's half elven. He kind of like shepherds or looks after, curates the ancient thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Imperials didn't destroy everything. In fact, they conquered quite a bit, and would slowly over time it would become more and more imperial. His job would be to look after the magical wonders or secrets, and then slowly perhaps divulge those secrets to the Imperium.
Okay.
He would be part of the same hierarchy that Tacitus is involved in. Curious that they're sharing. Well, I guess not curious. They are talking to nobility, and the nobility are the ones that approach them about these questions. There were. What do you want to research? So this is as far as you get in one day. Looking through old letters and just through what Phineas knows. This is as much information as you get in one day. Like eventually you have to sleep and eat.
Yeah.
What are you doing on the second day before they arrive?
The first thing he's going to do is he's going to send a letter to the Towers of Faith indicating that Master Tacitus is a health problem and perhaps, like, okay, can I make a spellcraft to know that a heal spell will cure madness, or...
Sure. DC normally to identify spells is 15 plus double spell level.
Fuck. 23.
Yeah, such healing magic is beyond you, and it's a different class. So,
Well, I guess I'm not doing that then.
well, they might. You do know that they might have healing magics. They just don't know.
He'll just send a message that Master Tacitus requires a talented healer's touch of someone of the faith.
Okay.
Immediately.
All right, and then what else are you doing that day?
Then he's going to research shadow magic. No, sorry, he's not. He's going to research history of the Shadow War and how these items might fit into the historical context.
Okay, that's a broad topic. Are you just going to... Do you want random bits, or do you have specific questions that you want answered?
Who use these items? What do they do?
Okay.
And I guess the dangers of these items.
Sure, give me a knowledge arcana.
$39.
Jesus. Okay. These items...
Master Tacitus, my ass! I'll run this tower!
Ask me about heal spells, because I don't know shit about that.
39.
Go to the church for healing.
So you're talking specifically about the Shadow Star and the...
And the sword.
And the sword.
Yeah.
Okay. What they didn't talk about in these set of letters was the compass. That was just to let you know the what you do and not know about.
Yeah, okay.
The blade itself, the way it was described is that you actually now, through the researches of Tacitus and looking up these things, you know the name of the blade and a bit more of the grim story, because apparently Tacitus had similar questions about this that he corresponded with the imperial custodian, Camus Vord, on.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, some of the books on the subject of shadow magic were actually borrowed by the imperial custodian and shipped up to Citadel by the Lake.
Okay.
They are still on loan.
I see. Guess where the circus is going.
What you do piece together is that through letters and through sort of research is that this sword has a name and a history. And how did it fit into the wars? All great questions. The war, it kind of starts out like a storybook. The war was between the light and the dark.
Okay.
When the Imperials came and slew the coronal or elvish king of a great elven nation called Terraslene, it was at this point in time that a power vacuum created two competing sides. One were elves who called out to great and shiny things, great and powerful forces of light, whereas the other was a shadow that crept into the world and to the hearts of elves who mourned the passing of their coronal and needed to follow greatness. There is mention of a being called the Dragon in Elf's Shadow, who is a wielder of shadow magic, whom they believe came from the plane of shadow. She converted 4 great elven families.
Okay.
And those 4 elven families produced a lord and a knight each.
Okay.
That upon some shadowy stone broke their moon blades, which were refashioned into that of shadow. The blade that they are discussing is called Vaddapol, the shadow of the crescent moon, and it was
Vaddapol?
Yeah, I will copy pasta this into chat. And Vaddapol in Elven roughly translates to the shadow of the crescent moon, and it was the former moonblade of the Vethlande Elven family.
Okay.
Vor's Vethlande was the Dusk Lord that wielded it.
Alrighty.
Something happened to the Dusk Lords. Like, they're not around anymore. You don't know. The Shadow Wars obviously aren't going on anymore. You just don't know.
Yeah.
That's as far as you get. The Shadow Stars, you believe that each of the Dusk Lords end their knights. They had a single, like, squire each, or a Dusk Knight.
Okay.
You think that they had these Shadow Star things, but you didn't really look into it. Thank goodness Tacitus did some of this research ahead of time, and this is what you pieced out of like letters and certain notes that were part of it. But there were several books on shadow magic, and specifically on the topics of the Dusk Lords and the Shadow Wars that are not in your library anymore.
Okay.
They are still signed out to
Custodian Camusford.
Yep. Of Citadel by the Lake.
Yeah. Now, do I know is Citadel by the Lake Terraslene?
Give me a knowledge history.
24?
Yeah. Citadel by the Lake is the imperial name for Terraslene.
Cool.
When the group of you returns to the Tower of the Sage, the group of you being Radimer, Barrack well, Radimer didn't leave. He was kind of spying on the tower. You catch up with Radimer in the street before you actually go into the tower several days later for your visit. Radimer's standing a little bit further away from the tower, though. He kind of approached you way down the street, near the Silver Gander, which is I think a restaurant, a high-end restaurant.
If it's in that area, yes, it would be.
I hope he's going to be able to give us information. There are a lot of priests swarming around the tower this morning.
Does it, they swarming like somebody's dead? Or swarming like somebody's sick?
No, there were a group of 3 of them. 2 went in, and then the youngest one came out and ran to the south.
Maybe they're looking for a real healer.
Me. See if I save you next time.
I was kind of trying to imply that we brought the real healer, but if that's how you feel about it, fine.
Me.
Thank you, Radimer, for your tireless service. He nods. The group of you approaches the Tower of the Sage. Do you knock? Do you go in?
It seems like it's really busy, so we should probably just go in.
Okay, well,
They got priests running around.
the door does not just simply open.
Okay, then we knock.
Okay. Well, Phineas, since the priests arrived, they haven't let you anywhere near Tacitus.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
they're tending to him, so you now have the run of the place.
And Phineas has expressed the utmost requirement for discretion,
Okay.
which I think they're likely going to adhere to.
Yes, they have sequestered off the apartments for Tacitus and are told one of the priests is actually guarding the stairwell, and they're not even letting you up there.
And Phineas is fine with that.
Okay, Phineas.
Phineas goes and answers the door.
All right, give me a perception check, Phineas. Are you answering the door, or are you doing the window thing?
He's expecting them at this time, so he'll
Okay.
answer the door. 21.
Oh, great. It isn't Tacitus, although I imagine the Master Wizard doesn't answer his own door.
Of course not. Please come in.
Is the Master doing all right? Is this a good time for him?
I regret to tell you he is not. He did, however, leave me with his report and research to share with you.
What was your name again, dear?
It's Phineas, my lady.
Phineas what?
Guerrette.
A merchant family.
He's surprised she knows that.
She didn't.
Yes.
She didn't recognize your name yesterday, but when she came back, she knew who your family was.
Yes. Yes, my father is a somewhat successful merchant.
Yes, I believe that my relatives have some dealings with his shipping.
Yes.
What does he do? He's into
He's
shipping,
in
right?
shipping, yeah.
Yep. Small world, she says.
At times.
You really should get more sun. Are we going to have our meeting out here?
Oh, no, of course not. Please come inside.
Okay. You notice the priest guarding the stairwell that leads up. This is where the paint was leading up yesterday. That is
Yep.
no longer. That is all cleaned up.
Phineas has taken some pains to make sure this meeting goes well. Like there's wine and some cheese or
Yeah, she
available.
waves off the wine and cheese. She hands it back to the gladiators, though. That seem to
Yeah.
make the wine and cheese
It's
disappear.
It's an unseen servant handing around the food.
There are some items that are being placed out on a table.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are wrapped up, some of them are not. Is the Shadow Star orbiting your head today, Widget?
No.
Okay.
It's in the breast pocket.
Be careful, Master Phineas Guerrette. These items are shadow magic.
Yes, I'm aware. Who has been carrying these items?
A lot of people shifting their gaze to the gnome.
That would be me.
You should be aware that these
Yeah, they give you a
items-
mighty headache if you play with them too much.
that they will.
Play with them too much, you'll go blind.
You will go mad. Is what will
Yeah,
happen.
same thing.
He ignores the no, it's not the argument he was about to make. But
Well, what do I know?
may I see the items, please?
Okay. Start pulling out items, putting them like far apart from each other on the table. The Shadow Star comes out last, and slowly, with a bit of staring in your face to see if your treachery is afoot.
Finally, it's here. That's what I was waiting for.
So, what do you know of shadow magic?
Is this some sort of test?
No, this is me wondering how long I'm going to have to explain this.
What I understand, it's the magic between the weave.
Yes, I suppose that's an acceptable way of putting it. Yes.
It's the opposite of light.
Yes, it occurred during the, well, shadow magic first appeared at least here on Tarak, after the death of the Coronal in Terraslene. It was the start of the Shadow Wars.
So, Marty, would you try to put a rank in knowledge, shadowy stuff, trying to figure out as like a whatever becomes the this might be him getting the rank in whatever the shadowy stuff.
Sure. The School of Hard Knocks and actually trying to learn about it. It should be just Arcana, but I guess you could, if you want to double up, you might not get the penalties that.
I want shadow arcane or knowledge shadow magic. Knowledge shadow.
It's probably going to be spellcraft, but for shadow, we'll call it shadowcraft.
Okay, so that would not be a class skill.
You don't
That's
have spellcraft as a.
I do have spellcraft. Okay. Shadowcraft.
Actually, we'll say it becomes a class skill when you
Take that feat.
take that feat. Yeah.
I will take that. Okay. I will roll my shadowcraft. That I got a rank in
Okay.
because I keep playing with the things. 21.
Yeah, you get that this is bad for you to use, and it'll erode away your mind temporarily per use. You do know what I spoke of before about it being strong with enchantment, illusion, necromancy, and darkness. And no light spells, which is probably why Arlen doesn't like it.
Why, yeah, such a freak out.
Yep.
He's kind of got a thing about him.
You kind of know it from feeling it and you actually using the items and being a wizard. Like, you're coming from the experiential kind of side of things, whereas Phineas is definitely coming from the theoretical.
When you're playing with them, makes it really hard to concentrate on evocation.
Yes, you'll
Specifically,
find...
the light evocation doesn't really come out properly.
No, the light spells that use light are virtually
Want to blast
impossible.
out darkness, though? You can do that all day long.
Illusion, enchantment spells are very strong. Necromancy.
Yes, these are all things that I've heard before. My husband went on about the shadow magic. I'm more concerned about...
Where does the compass go?
Yes.
She
Finally.
smiles.
Good question.
Don't remember them mentioning the compass.
There was no mention of a compass in the letters.
Why don't
Well,
we
then.
bring him through a bit of education? Show him the Moonblade, or what was a Moonblade. What is basically in the style of an elven thin blade. It's not very large. It's not very impressive. It's put down. It has a dark sheath, a really grim-looking handle, some sort of dragon kind of at the end of it.
Okay.
No one that I know is able to draw this blade. Do you know why?
This is, are you familiar with what an elven moonblade is?
She just called it a moonblade.
Well,
Enlighten us.
okay,
It's gonna take a
moonblades
while with this
are
one.
crafted for particular bloodlines of elves. One who is not, Marty has to correct me, Mark.
Yep, that's fine. Go ahead.
One must be of that bloodline and, as some legends hold, must be worthy of the blade in order to draw it. These blades were crafted, at least as the stories go, after the death of the coronal in Terraslene. The elves were split in two. The dark and the light, those who followed the shadow magic and those who remained with the light. There was also talk of a dragon, a shadow dragon, who swayed 4 elven families. Each produced a lord and a knight, and they all swore an oath to this dragon, and all were crafted their own dusk blades. I'm sorry. I'm just very excited that this is here. Very exciting.
He's a magic
sorry.
nerd.
This is Mark also trying to review his notes here.
Whoa, it's a...
But it's, yes, only an elf.
Also gotta be
Possibly-
worthy. Apparently, you're not worthy. Spoiler.
I wouldn't
Arlen,
want to use this weapon.
did you even try to draw the blade?
No.
This one, I believe, is called Beta 2. It was the formerly it's Beta 2 is Elven for the shadow of the crescent moon. It's the former moonblade of the Vethlande family. Vors Vethlande was the last Dusk Lord to wield it. Now, there was more than just correspondence between your family and Tacitus. He was also corresponding with the Imperial custodian at the Citadel by the Lake.
She seems to know what you're talking about.
Knowledge, something, arcane,
Local geography.
geography. 17.
I'm pretty sure the Citadel of the Lake is somewhere up north, kind of like in that direction, north.
It's that way.
Yeah,
and it's by
exactly.
a lake.
Yep. There's a series of lakes up there, and Citadel by the Lake is a imperial dot on a map somewhere way up there.
Imperial Custodian Camus Board is who he still has many of the books are still unknown about shadow magic. He still has them. So the research is somewhat incomplete, unfortunately. However, if you are looking for answers regarding these particular items, the Citadel by the Lake might be where you want to go. Not only are the books there, but the Citadel by the Lake is the imperial name given to Terraslene itself.
She nods slowly. Terraslene was the land that we're talking about, with that had the Cornel that was killed and had like the war happened in that land and the lands around it.
Wait. Are you not even going to try one? It's fun, you know.
No.
Making the magic work.
What of this book? And they now uncover something, and there's this dark tome with a strange lock on it, and it just seems to be leaking shadow.
Oh, lovely. Knowledge Arcana or Spellcraft? What am I doing?
Arcana? Yep.
Here? 36.
You're pretty sure this thing is called the Codex of Shadows. Someone who studies from this can become a Shadow Weave user.
He covers it back up. This is the Codex of Shadows. This is how one becomes a Shadow Weave user. And he's kind of eyeballing the gnome right now.
Well, the gnome like uncovers it because it's not like it can hear you.
It should be noted that once one does become a shadow magic user, there is no turning back. The weave is now closed to you.
Oh no, a gnome with really strong illusions. Whatever could it be?
Interesting, she says.
You'll cover it up now.
You're guessing that this book might have been penned by the dragon in Elf Shadow to give to her, to the four lords.
This may very well be the actual book penned by that shadow dragon, given to those elf lords to convert them.
You make it sound like it's a religion thing.
I'm trying to impress the danger this book represents.
You're not very worldly, are you? Just, you, like, stay indoors.
No, I say he's got quite the correct
I would.
opinion.
So then why did the army make you guys fight shadow things?
Are you talking to the wizard or?
No, I'm talking to the rest of the guys.
Oh.
Sorry, what did you say? Why is the army making us fight shadow things?
Yeah, Sam talks a lot. You had to fight a shadow thing for the
It
army.
was one
remember?
of the fights. It was one of the fights that we had to have.
Some sort of monster they didn't really fight before.
Marty?
Yes,
Yeah.
we went through that.
Knowledge.
One of the gladiatory fights that we had, we fought one of the shadow creatures.
Mortenzi remembers. I don't know if Mark remembers you guys fighting the
Yeah,
shadow.
Mark remembers,
Yeah.
yeah. Mackenzie fought it.
Okay, yeah. Phineas is like
We
shadow
beat-
monsters.
Well, that's the whole. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Where are the
Like,
shadow
oh, we shouldn't learn about shadow. It's all like, it's like, well, yeah, it's a big shadow army.
Would these be the same? Then these must be the same creatures related to this magic.
Well,
But
let's not jump to conclusions.
Well, I've
Various
never.
creatures use darkness to their advantage.
Don't sound very convinced.
Well, describe the creature. What does it do that made you think it's some part of the shadow wall?
I wasn't there. What did it do? It was shadowy.
Didn't get much of a chance. We destroyed it quickly. Honestly, I don't remember. Intelligence check? I think we beat the living crap out of it.
It had knives. It created shadows. It was kind of stealthy.
It was sneak attacky in the shadow.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it was grabbed by Ugg and mushed into a ball or something like that. Like it was.
It was not the big exciting fight of that event,
No.
right?
No,
The Minotaur fight was the fun.
The Minotaur fight. I see. And then Sam didn't remember it very well because he was, he was high on his wind at that point,
Okay.
as opposed to high on his defeat.
So, who is describing this creature? How well do you describe it?
All right.
All right, in check to remember this crap. Or...
the creature is an outsider, or a native outsider. So basically, you need a knowledge planes check to really describe it in a proper way.
Give me a sec.
If you make Widget do it, Widget's doing it through Sam's skill check, then his diplomacy check. I don't know if you want that to happen.
I have a
I don't know. It
plus
was shadowy. You tell me. You're the wizard.
I have a plus 8.
Thanks,
Does
buddy.
anybody want to aid?
There you go.
Radimer
Anybody-
aids.
Okay.
Oh, you know who's got knowledge planes? Mortenzi.
Nice.
What
Do you
did he can
aid?
describe?
Hang on, I'm gonna check knowledge.
Do you aid, sir? Hang on.
Yeah, Radimer auto aids.
Okay. Maybe Radimer should roll this.
Yeah, actually.
Man,
yeah.
maybe you guys.
Mortenzi aids.
Can we just use that one?
That's not how this works.
God, fuck it! God, fuck it!
Wait, quit sandbagging, Arlen. It was shadowy and evil.
It was dark. It was evil. It had nothing to do with light. There was no light. It was evil.
Give me a knowledge planes check, Phineas.
Alright.
Evil, I tell you.
Thanks.
No light.
37.
Oh, that's a good one.
There might be creatures on the shadow plane. If they're fighting them on the material plane, then that suggests they got here somehow through some sort of planar magic.
Right.
They talk about the army captured something and made them fight them in a gladiatorial pit in Fallen Stone, and well, it could be that
It could
there are
be
still
the army.
dangers that remain from the Shadow Wars that rocked Terraslene after the death of the Colonel.
It could be any number of things. Planar magic could have pulled them from the plane of shadow. They could be left over from the Shadow Wars. It's difficult to say. It's not worth jumping to conclusions.
Some creatures could have bred with shadow creatures, thus resulting in Shadow Template. There are some creatures called Shay that live there. They are native to the Shadow Plane with a 37. There are also fetchlings.
There's also fetchlings, the Shay, there's interbreeding. There's a variety of options.
Shadows themselves, shadow demons, like shadow hounds. You kind of there are lots of things that live in an entire plane.
Yeah, he goes through the whole list of so it could be this, until they're all glazed over, and it's like, but not necessarily what you said.
But you understand the significance. There's no light.
Yes, you've mentioned that a few times now.
What can you tell us of the star?
It is. I can't remember now.
Okay, so are you going to show them the Shadow Star?
Yep.
Okay, this is kind of
I'll pull out
purpley.
the Shadow Star, but his hand is staying very close to it on the table.
Okay.
In fact, he's doing it's on his palm.
Elves are known as some of the most, the highest. They can rival dwarves in the way that they craft gems, and gem magic is an old type of magic. Iron stones come from that age.
Yeah.
This